training the horse not to rush when it comes to jumping. This is Dulcie. She's an 11-year-old Irish sports horse. She has worked 5 times a week, including schooling on the flat, over jumps and hacking. The first video is the reason we decided that rushing when out show jumping needed to be worked on. You can see the horse racing to the next fence. The rider found it hard to control her when turning towards the next fence, making her jump sideways. In week 1, back at the yard, you can see even with just one small fence she still rushes. The smaller the fence, the more she rushed. In this session we focus more on half holds. After watching a few tutorials on YouTube, it was found that Laura Wenrick showed that half halts could be very useful as a way of getting the horse to stop and listen to you and collecting themselves before the next fence. After watching Tim Stockdale on YouTube, it was found that pole work would be beneficial to this horse. Placing poles on the floor really made her think about where she was placing her feet and that she couldn't just rush over them. She actually had to stop and think about it. Using poles with no jumps kept Dulcie's concentration just firmly on the poles on the floor. Introducing jumps too early might have meant that she would have tried to rush over the poles to get to the jumps. Even when we started to introduce the jumps slowly, she would get faster and faster. We had to keep her in trot leading up to the jump to keep her under control. This is Dulcie with her second rider working on grid work. We chose this as it's beneficial and improves a number of things for both rider and horse. The first couple of times she had to actually stop and think about it. This was just a clear round class to get her out and doing things over the summer. She began this course really fast, rushing every jump. But with a few more controlled turns and circles and half halts used, she started to slow down. Not by much, but it was a definite improvement from the first time she went out. We focused more on grid work as we thought this would be the best way to help her slow down. It's not just the horse that needs to work here, the rider also needs to improve so she can help ride better. but as soon as she worked out how to do it, she just sped up again. So it needs to almost be very complicated for her to slow down and sit back and think about it a little bit more instead of just running over them. This figure of 8 helped her by slowing her down, because as she jumped she would have to turn to make the figure of 8 to turn to the next jump. Keeping her on a circle took her concentration away from finishing that jump and racing to the next one. You can see she's improved a lot and is casually trotting towards them. She doesn't seem to be rushed at all, and in fact she's just taking her time. This was the second class we went out to. Again, it was just a clear round, so not against the clock. I think this video shows the improvement quite clearly, turning and being more collected. Although when she does get to a straight part, she does try and rush off. But with a few half halts, this is easily corrected and regained perfect control. She just gets very strong and starts to pull on the rider. The more you fight with her, the more agitated she gets, so it's best to just let her go, but keep her in check using your leg and half halts.